In a remote countryside in France, there is the extremely rich BDUI family, and here there is a secret rule. No one can change it. That is, in every confrontation, this family always wins, and the rest always lose. So their losers are countless people, including these two children, Kanaya and Daniel. They had their own grudge against that whole damn family, so they cut themselves to pieces, and promised that they would never work for the BDUI family. When the two boys grew up, they decided to start their own business, but after only a few months, they went bankrupt because they couldn't compete with rival companies. Kanaya then quickly became the first person to break his oath and join the BDUI family. As for Daniel, he was brave enough, but he couldn't stand being hungry, so it wasn't long before this young man joined his brother. After bribing the Polish manager Daniel, he was accepted and tried for 6 months. The BDUI family owns a global distribution system for luxury perfumes, with brands sending their products here in batches. The worker's job will be to check and classify them into small packages, and then deliver them to customers around the world. Daniel took on the position of product quality inspector, but ironically he only worked on the first day, and the next day he heard the news that the president of BDUI had passed away. Beatrix's son was Daniel's childhood classmate, so he also inherited his father's great career. The male lead is now very jealous, because while he is still struggling to make ends meet, his friend is already the president of a large corporation. However, that day was also the day Daniel discovered a big deal that could help change his life. After receiving the perfume that Beatrix gave to the staff on the occasion of his inauguration, but because he did not like to use perfume, Daniel advertised it for sale to earn some money for breakfast. Unexpectedly, after just a few minutes, many people were interested in this product. Realizing that the customers' needs were huge, this young man came up with a crazy idea. The next few days, Daniel focused on observing and finding loopholes in the system, then quickly and his best friend smuggled the goods out to sell to share. Maybe they could make a whole bunch. But Kenya immediately refused, because she didn't want to be foolish and lose this job. However, Daniel still maintained his stance. The next day, while at work, when no one was paying attention, he quickly picked up a few cans of perfume and put them in a carton. Next, stomp on it and take it to the trash. After a few teasing words, the manager immediately fell into the trap and punished Daniel to go out and trash. That's all he needed to get out of the security door, because no security guard was free enough to check what was inside the trash can. Just like that, he happily pushed the trash can and a few bottles of perfume out to smuggle goods to others. It turns out Kenya turned around and decided to cooperate with her best friend. After the success of the first mission, the two guys continued to successfully carry out many more missions. Until one day Daniel discovered that he was accused by a customer of selling fake goods. The customs police also came to the house to warn them about the crime of buying and selling smuggled goods. The male lead quickly explained that he was only selling for a few friends, and promised that he would not be involved in this matter anymore. After being probed by the police, Daniel could no longer continue selling perfume online. That's why he went to a local fair to survey the business situation here. Also at this place, the male lead absent-mindedly clashed with two small merchants and was forced to cooperate with them. But at the same time, his and Kenya's plan to smuggle goods out was discovered by the old manager. He is very cunning and wants to get 50% of the total revenue each month. Otherwise, this matter will reach the ears of superiors. However, Daniel is not average. That's me. He lured Kenya to his house to make the old man lose his temper, and then threw money in his face and warned him that if he wanted to earn more, he should be obedient and keep his mouth shut. With support from the manager, the two of them became successful and the business went very smoothly. Daniel even moved with his mother to a rented apartment to live. It seemed like everything was going well, but suddenly that day the male lead received news that he had been promoted. His previous job will now be completely replaced by machines. This news was like a thunderbolt to his ears. Even though he was recommended to just sit around until he got paid, Daniel couldn't stand still all day. If you can't go out there to photograph the goods and smuggle them out directly, then this lucrative business will end right here. At this moment, the male lead received an offer to go to dinner from Crack. It turned out that she was upset because the president of BDUI did not approve her business proposal and instead appointed someone else to be the general manager, the position that according to his promise was supposed to be held by her. The male protagonist took this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to immediately confess his love and invite her to join his team to take revenge on that damn family. Then you quickly plan the upcoming mission. A shipment of perfume delivered to a company will contain 27 boxes, and when workers prepare an order, they will often take the entire box or just pick the product from the top box of the package. Because the scanner cannot scan each bottle, but can only scan the number of cases, the system accepts a small error of about 1.1%. If they take less than 1.1% of all goods, the system will not be able to record the error and will not issue a notification. However, it is equivalent to about 50,000 bottles of perfume with a value of up to 2.5 million euros. Phimhay here believes that selling 50,000 bottles of perfume is impossible because in retrospect, they only have 3 people and can smuggle such a large amount of goods out. But he forgot one thing. Daniel's girlfriend is the head of the company's human resources department. She immediately investigated the backgrounds of the people who would directly help them steal the goods, and they would certainly agree, because no one would be foolish enough to refuse a lucrative part-time job. Very quickly the whole team got to work. While Daniel takes care of the paperwork, outside the goods processing stages work very smoothly. From the old man to the forklift, the twin brothers, the 2 women, the middle old man, and finally the guy Phimhay study together and coordinate with him so well that the security staff cannot detect them. If work continues to go smoothly like that, the whole team will smuggle out at least 900 bottles of perfume per week, equivalent to an amount of 388,000 euros per month. And of course their plan succeeded without any risks. This successful business brought the group a lot of money. Daniel even bought his neighbor's house to use as a storage room to organize entertainment and dancing for the whole group every weekend. Even in their dreams, these workers did not realize that they would one day have money to spend freely like that. It's all thanks to Daniel's very strict management. Moreover, the guy is holding his butt to make himself bigger and stronger. Immediately thanks to the relationship, the male lead became acquainted with 2 directors who were owners of an Italian perfume company. After the negotiations, they quickly started doing business together. Next, Daniel bought a truck and added a warehouse to store the goods, where only he and Phimhay knew the exact location. Their goal now is no longer to retail perfume at flea markets, but to deliver directly to partner companies at extremely preferential prices. Very quickly the whole team earned their first $1 million. Daniel is also hailed as a hero because of that. Thanks to his ingenuity and sharp business ability, their lives have now blossomed. But the needle that had been in the bag for a long time eventually came out. Chairman Bottrick, after being convinced by his wife, decided to sell the company to a third party. When the 2 parties had just signed a binding contract, Bottrick accidentally discovered that he had lost a large number of goods. If they don't find out who's behind this soon, they'll be dead. Not stopping there, after knowing the story, Bottrick's partners secretly hired a detective to infiltrate the company to find the mastermind behind this. If it is proven that Bottrick is not transparent, the partner will be the beneficiary because they only need to spend half the money to buy back the entire company according to the contract. His immediate target was a person in Daniel's team. This guy liked to show off when he went to work and drove a luxury car, so of course he fell into the detective's sights. He even caused trouble outside and had to be hospitalized, making Daniel very angry. Because of him, the group's business was stagnant. As soon as he heard that a new worker had moved in, the male lead immediately inquired about his background. After learning that the other person had been in prison for providing money, Daniel immediately introduced him to a light, high-paying job. At first, he pretended not to agree, but when Daniel gave him the uniform, the detective quickly turned around. This guy's risky actions made some members of the team unhappy, thinking that this former prisoner could not be trusted. But Daniel immediately explained that as long as he could do the job, it was okay. Moreover, this guy just expired, so he will need money. If the opponent intends to betray us, we will find a way to blame him and then send him to prison, and that's it. At this time, Ba-truc also revealed the shocking secret he discovered to the male lead's girlfriend. The president assigned her the task of analyzing the personnel database to find the culprit. Furthermore, he promised that if he succeeded, he would repay his subordinates generously. She immediately reported this to Daniel and told him to stop because sooner or later someone would find out. The male lead of course disagrees. He told her to find a way to rationalize the problem and then use some big purchasing company to cover up the loss of the goods. Find a way to rationalize the problem and then protect your part. His girlfriend strongly advised Daniel to stop at the right time. If it weren't for her, he would still be just a guy selling a few bottles of perfume at the market. You're not a businessman, just a thief, Daniel. That statement touched the male lead's pride. He definitely doesn't want to be just an ordinary worker all his life, so he will continue with his career. From there, the detective suddenly called Ba-truc and told him that he could help find the culprit on the condition that he had to transfer 50,000 euros in advance and another 50,000 after the job was done. The chairman was now desperate, so he had no choice but to cling to this fragile hope. Of course, Daniel convened the members for an emergency meeting because the chairman already knew the incident, so the upcoming smuggling was expected to be very difficult. While we were all disappointed because we were no longer able to spend freely, the male lead came up with a crazy plan. If you want to eat a lot, you have to take risks, and this time they will smuggle the whole truck. If this goes through, the group will earn 80,000 bottles of perfume, equivalent to about 2.5 million euros. This amount of money, evenly distributed to all of them, was not a small amount, so they immediately agreed. As for the detective, after a few times of cooperation, he gained Daniel's trust, so he was assigned the task of training the whole team. However, he still did not forget to report the entire plan to Ba-truc. Of course, the day of the robbery has arrived. After the two cars left, Daniel and his partner followed. When they arrived at the gas station, they immediately rushed out to control the driver and stole